right, thank you everyone. I have a little bit of a gravelly throat here. Hopefully it'll just make me more personable listening to me. I love this topic. I love what I do. Your passion is my passion. Your vision is my vision. That is what I do. I absolutely am about you living your life of freedom, fun, and fulfillment, and raising your money thermometer. We can insert any word with money, right? Money is just really important for us to have that life of fun, because we want to, be and do and have what we want to have in this lifetime. So this is going to be about how do you do that? How do you, I believe with all of my being that, and I know this to be true, that you can, I'll say it again, be, do, and have what you want when you know how. So this is going to be a 20-minute introduction into that. So a young man goes to a fishing stream one day, and down the stream he notices an old man that is pulling out one fish after another, and he notices that the man is measuring each fish by a broken off ruler. And if the fish is bigger than the broken off ruler, the man will throw the fish back in, the bigger fish back in, and he'll keep the small fish. After a while of seeing this, the man just has to go down and ask the older gentleman and says to him, hey, hi, I see that you're pulling in one fish after another, but I don't understand. Why are you throwing back the big ones and keeping the small ones? Do they get bony if they get big, or, what's the deal? And the older gentleman says, well, you see that broken off ruler there? He says, yes. Well, I measure each fish by that broken off ruler, because that broken off ruler is the exact size of my frying pan. Now, that is pretty funny that we would see someone keeping the smaller fish and throwing back the big one. What would we say? We would say, get a bigger frying pan, right? Well, that man's story is not just his story. It's my story, it's your story. The universe of life will throw us large ideas, and we will automatically throw it back, because we'll say, no, not me, not with my history, not my age, no, I'm a woman, no, I don't have the education, my family, you fill in the blank for you, right? That is exactly where we are set on our thermometer. So that thermometer is when we automatically disregard what is pulling us. Life is continually pulling us to a greater becoming. In fact, that's the whole purpose of life. So those of you that know, and I believe all of us know at some level, that we have a purpose. Because when we are in touch with our higher selves, we know that we're here to be, do, and have more. In fact, that's what life is about. So, how do we raise that thermometer? Now again, money is the topic, but we can apply this universally to anything. So, I do want to talk about, first off, money. Money is good for two things, and this is pretty cool, right? To make you comfortable enough and creative enough to deliver your gifts. When you don't have to think about where the money's going to come from, you can open up the world of possibilities for whatever it is that you truly want to do. And number two, to allow you to contribute to do the things and make a difference for others. If you look at those two things, how much more noble can you get, right? Again, that's why your purpose is your power. And this whole talk, this whole expression of you, of me, of each and every one of us, it's not, I spent 17 years in federal government, and I was always so very idealistic. I'm still very idealistic, but I'm also very practical. And for the longest time, I would say vision's important, mission's important, passion's important. And now I really know why. After 10 months of growing my own business and being out there and failing, I'm both a fan of success and failure, because you can't be successful without failing. After 10 months of being full out, I left a 6-figure job to do this company full time, and it wasn't 6 figures at the time. And so I left it, and I'm growing my company day by day, and I'm absolutely failing, and I'm absolutely growing, and I'm absolutely raising that thermometer. And so for you, the question is, where are you? Because it doesn't matter where you're at. There's always the next evolution of you. And taking it to that next level is how you have to raise the thermometer. So I will tell you that I would walk into, over the last 10 months, I would walk into, let's say a year ago, I would walk into a networking event, and I would be ready to go. And my thermometer would go, whoop, and crash. And it was very painful at times to really start putting myself out there. And I'm sure you understand that, right? Whatever it is for you. For me, it wasn't historically a shy. My story up until now, and you'll learn something about that. Up until now, right, I was shy, and it was difficult for me to walk into a room and do the small talk, and again, the thermometer, boop. So I had to learn how to do what I'm going to describe to you today. And in fact, let me go into, okay, first I wanted to tell you here, money is energy, right? That's why you can insert anything into raise your thermometer, raise your money thermometer, raise your job thermometer, raise your life thermometer, whatever that is, right? It's about you having that freedom, fun, and fulfillment. Your energy is what people are actually responding to. Those of you that are familiar with the law of attraction, the universal laws, that's what the core of my business is about, is teaching how this universe is designed, and that we can absolutely create the magnet to attract toward us what it is that we really want and desire in our lives. So the 3 culprits that lower your thermometer is 1, I'm not good enough, 2, I'm unworthy, and 3, I'm unimportant. Some variation of that. So self-doubt, all 3 of those, it's your self-doubt. And when I said I would walk into a room and the thermometer would crash, it was my self-doubt. It took every bit of the last 10 months, I was holding on to the job, and that wasn't really growing me. When I let go of the job, and I still had to grow, but I wasn't aware of why I wasn't growing at the rate I wanted to grow at until I realized, really started paying attention to my thoughts. The self-doubt, and I love this quote from Shakespeare, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good that we oft might win, by fearing to attempt, right? So that's why it's important to raise your money thermometer, to raise your thermometer, because you and your image of how you view yourself, that's the only game there really is. It's how you view yourself, your self-image. And so how do you raise it? Here's 3 behaviors that you can actually string together. Calm, confident, conviction, right? I talk about passion. That's your conviction. That's why doing what you love is the only choice, in my view. Because if you don't have a conviction for what it is you're doing, then you're not going to have the fuel that you need to do it. Right? Most of us are walking or have walked around, and I, like I said, 17 years in a federal job, was walking around without the conviction, because I had all this self-doubt, there's 3 culprits again, and the conviction was weak, right? And so I had to step out of my boat or step out of the box to build that conviction in me. It's because it's about you, right? You building it in you. The conviction that you matter, that you have a message, you have a purpose, you have something to give to the world to make a difference, right? So that's where you go back to the 2 things that money is good for, making a difference. That's why it matters. So calmness. As you practice life mastery strategies, you learn that your mind calms, right? And so when you see someone that is more calm and they're not jumping around and they're more focused, right? That's a core life mastery strategy. Because when we are calm, this is why meditation is so powerful, is that our minds are calm and we're actually able to communicate with our higher selves. Our higher selves, I believe and know to be true, is that we're connected to the universal mind, the mind of the infinite. Whether you call that God, I call it God, but whatever you call it for you. The mind of the infinite we're connected to, and when we calm, we can hear. We can get the signals. That's the gut, that's the intuition. Confidence. Confidence is from knowing how it's designed, how this universe works. Again, the law of attraction, this beautiful universal laws. And again, creating that conviction and your passion and why you're here. So, self-esteem, right? So, it comes from having that larger purpose. I love the poet Rumi, who said, "It's as if a king has sent you and me into a far and distant land with one thing to accomplish." We can accomplish all the things that the world thinks is grand, but in the end, if we fail to accomplish the one thing that we were sent to do, it's as if we've done nothing. Nothing. And so why is that important? It's because your purpose is what brings you the freedom, the fun, and the fulfillment. When you're aligned to that. When we're not, we struggle. Things appear to be difficult. The problem appears to be bigger than you. But when you align to your purpose and your path, then you realize that the problem is there to instruct you and teach you, and failure is just that. It's just information. And then you calm and you start to pay attention at a greater rate of, okay, this is happening. I don't believe it's here to harm me. I mean, it's here to instruct me. And so that's the beautiful calming of the mind, as you're able to really receive the wisdom of what life is here to bring you and what you're here to be a part of. So the quality of our life is determined by the quality of the questions that we ask. You can see that, right? And so the very first question is, what would you love to be, do, and have? So as an image maker, to raise your thermometer, in order for you to do that, you have to have a vision. So again, this is why I now know it's not idealism to have a vision. It's the only way that we can chart our path is to know what it looks like to be living the life of success, right? If we don't have that, it's like a ship without a rudder. You're going somewhere, but you're not really sure where you're going. And so there's 4 areas that you do that over, and I do that. I could talk all day, so there's a lot here. But creative expression, your work in the world. I list that first because I really believe that because of our purpose and our uniqueness, the gifts that we've been given and how we can serve others, is that when we know that, then our health and well-being, we're able to really stay present to that and do the right things and live healthy. And relationships, because we know who we are, we're able to set boundaries, and we're able to just be very crystal clear. You can see where the clarity is very important, because other people know how to relate with us. We relate well with ourselves. We relate well with spirit. We actually are allowing spirit to guide us through our intuition, by being connected. And then the financial is just there, right? It's not something that we are struggling to do, because it's like the ocean, right? When you go to the ocean, it naturally will lift you up if you allow it to. This practice of visioning and getting in alignment to your purpose will lift your thermometer, because you are endeavoring to live the life that you love, rather than doing what you think you should do based on the circumstance. Because it's not out there, it's in here, it's inside of you. So I'm going to go over some strategies here. We have about 5 more minutes. Pay attention. I've mentioned this a couple times. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to. This is the core life mastery strategy. When you're paying attention to what you're paying attention to, you're expanding and developing a greater awareness of what's happening in you. Because again, it's what's happening in you that really matters, because you're the one that gets to respond to whatever's happening out there. And up until now, right, so whatever your story is, wherever you want to raise your thermometer, and let's say I want to become a better public speaker. Up until now, I felt I lacked the confidence. Now I have the energy, the vibrancy. I connect with my audiences, right? Up until now, we can address the past as what it is. It was the past. It no longer defines you. and then creating the vision. So living from your vision. So as you're paying attention, what you're paying attention to is how you're living from that. Those four categories I gave you a minute ago. You're consciously developing that greater awareness, and your mind is just, by the way, just like Google. When you go to Google and you type in a question, you can get an answer, right? Well, your mind, when you focus it toward your vision, you start seeing it. You start seeing the aspects, the people, the things, the places, whatever it is that's required for you, because you're it. You're becoming the woman who is living that life. You see, that's important, because the universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. And so if you don't have a vision, that's the first thing you need to do, is about a page and a half, very clearly write out what your vision is across those four domains. And anyone that's interested, you can certainly email me, and I can give you a checklist on how to do that. Aligning to your core values, what really matters to you. And this or something better. Now, so core values, I mean, we know family, whatever that is for you, respect, ethics perhaps, just, again, aligning to what really matters. In fact, that's a whole tough topic in and of itself. And then this or something better. So you create the vision, you create the page and a half, and then you always at the end of it say, this or something better. Isn't that beautiful? The universe will always give you more. Because we're limited, right? We are spiritual beings in finite bodies. Because of that, we can't see we can't see the whole picture. So we always know that there's more for us when we endeavor to set our life according to our vision and what we would love. And today I am being. We all have to-do lists, but I am being love, I'm being respect, whatever that is for you for that particular day. I suggest, I have another list that I give to my clients that is a to-do list, and it has a to-be list on there as well, so that you can keep that focus on a day-to-day basis. Because if you're just focused on your to-do list, then it's easy to lose focus. It's easy to get into the nuts and bolts and lose focus on the larger ideals of what you want to be in life. And then finally, ask what's the most empowering perception. When a problem comes up, what's the most empowering perception of it? Remembering that it's here to instruct you, to help you, to step into that greater version of you. And so, I do want to say that the reason that's powerful is that I often wondered why problems have to force us to change, right? And so it's because we're not paying attention, right? That's why that first strategy of paying attention to what you're paying attention to is so very powerful. Is that when we're not paying attention, my mentor, who's Mary Morrissey, said recently at a conference I was with her at, said, the universe will give you a feather, and then it'll give you a 2x4, and then it'll give you the Mack truck. And I've had a few Mack trucks. Anybody had a few Mack trucks? And so asking what the most empowering perception is. We know that we've been out of alignment when things are going, and there's always good that we can find in whatever is going on. I love this quote. I've memorized it a few times, but I know I'm almost out of time, so I won't read it. But the most powerful part of this Marianne Williamson quote that I love is, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Right? As women, we have to own that. Who are you to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Who are you not to be? You're a child of God, the universe. You're absolutely meant to have it all. And having it all means aligned to your purpose, your passion, and have that vision of a life that gives you that freedom, that fun, and that fulfillment you truly, truly deserve. So I am raffling a book, Build Your Field of Dreams. I teach and mentor and coach. Mary Morrissey is my personal coach and mentor. And she has this book, Build Your Field of Dreams, and she has signed it. And it's been autographed. And I have laid on your chairs a card. And some of you might not have them, because I believe we have more chairs than we have people. And so if you don't have one, please just let me know and I will give you a card. If you fill out a card, you put you in for the raffle. And so what this card has on it is you can apply for a complimentary strategy session with me. You can be placed on my newsletter. I do a low-cost monthly program called Crystal Unplugged where I teach universal laws and all of the success principles, some of the ones I've touched on today. If you're interested in corporate coaching or consulting services, or if you know of anyone, I'm always looking to speak more and just get out there in a bigger way. So I appreciate your support in that way. And then finally, a goal card that has on it, clarity brings you freedom, fun, and fulfillment. Get clear today. There's always, I love working with my clients. It's amazing because every time I work with them, there's some clarity that comes to them that it just brings them so much joy and closer to their dreams. And that's what my hope is for you. And if you turn it around, you can write your date, your year, and I am so happy and grateful now that you want to express gratitude and say that your goal is already so, which is why it's written as it is. If anybody would like any more information, please just ask me. Thank you.